The Full Monty is a 1997 British comedy. It was the hottest British comedy of the year, one of the best of the 90s, actually, I would say. Um, it is a really pleasant film. It deals with self-esteem and unemployment. Even though it's about strippers, the movie just happens to deal with it, and it doesn't really focus on um, doesn't really focus on taking off pieces of clothing or anything. So that's a good thing. So the movie's about it takes place in Sheffield, England, where the place for employment, a steel plant, suddenly got shut down. Now a whole bunch of people are out of work. Now that's really the essence of the story. It's about work and trying to make ends meet, and it does so in really good ways. The stars of the film are Robert Carlyle and Mark Addy, who play best friends Gaz and Dave. Now, Gaz is um, trying to keep up with child support payments in order for him to keep seeing his son. He's divorced. He does have it's a joint custody thing with him and his son, but because he's been missing child support payments because he can't work, he's he's standing a chance of losing his son, and he frankly doesn't want that. He loves his son more than anything in the world. Meanwhile, uh, Dave is really overweight, so he thinks that his wife is falling out of love with him and would rather be with guys with washboard stomachs. Both Dave and Gaz are pretty ugly, so uh, yeah, their self esteems are low. They both don't have any jobs, and they both don't know what else to do with their lives. But there is one day where they um, walk across this area where um, Chippendales are performing, and that suddenly gives them an idea. You know, if these Chippendales can just go up on stage, take off their clothes, and make money that way, then why can't they? So Gaz talks Dave into doing so because Gaz wants to keep seeing his son, and of course everyone else that can be involved in it can make a lot of money too. You know, it's like $10 by like 1,000 people that are there. It's going to be a lot of money split evenly for everyone. So Dave reluctantly agrees to it, and they recruit a bunch of other people. They recruit their old foreman, who's played by Tom Wilkinson, and Tom Wilkinson's character is another good one. He hasn't told his wife that he's unemployed, and he's the one that stands the best chance of finding another job. So they recruit him to be their choreographer, and they get a couple of other guys. They get the security guard, whose name is Lomper. He's a pretty ugly redhead. I'm not dissing redheads, but this guy Lomper is pretty ugly. And they get this guy named Guy who loves movies and might be gay, and this black guy whose nickname is Horse, who used to be a good disco dancer back in the day, and is probably the best dancer out of everyone in the crew. So those six unemployed guys decide to get in shape, change the way that their bodies look, and possibly make enough money to save themselves. But see, all six guys, as I mentioned, are all ugly. None of them have good physiques at all. But they all need they all need a lot of money. So to separate themselves from a traditional striptease act, Gaz says for them to go full Monty, meaning all the way, which means that they're going to show everything. If they didn't go full Monty, then they'll get booed off the stage because they're all ugly. They don't have good physiques. Yeah. So that's really what the movie is. So that's the movie. I like to talk about plots. I think that this happens to be a good one. Now the movie is filled with British slang, but not really. It's not really difficult to understand, which is a good thing. Even though there is lots of British stuff in it, and anyone can really get into it. Anyone can really figure out what they're saying. So I thought that was surprisingly good. And the movie, yeah, it does deal with male strippers, but they don't really show a whole lot. They show butts a couple times, not really that big a deal. Guys take off their shirts, which is now because these guys are so ugly. When they strip, it's pretty funny. It's not supposed to be anything like to turn anybody on. It's done in a pretty funny way. And what I really like about this film is that all six characters, maybe not so much Guy or Horse. So yeah, four of the guys are very well developed, very, very well fleshed out. Gaz's son, Nathan, again, another character, very well fleshed out. Even Tom Wilkinson's wife in it, she appears in just a couple of scenes, but I really sympathize for her. And of course, it is really funny. It's smart, and the way that it tackles with all of these issues, like friendship and unemployment and self-esteem, all done very, very smart ways. Yeah, I really don't have any gripes to pick with this movie at all. I thought that everything about it was just great. Like the themes that it deals with and the character development, the hilarity in it, and also everything happens in such a way that it really tugs on your heartstrings. It's not like Magic Mike, which I haven't seen yet, but yeah, it's just a very nice, good film, and I enjoy watching it. I've seen it a whole bunch of times. Whenever I watch it, I get the same satisfaction as I do every time that I do. So I'm gonna give the full Monty 4 stars.